Well, hey everybody, and welcome to this midweek review with Mr. John. I, of course, am Mr. John, and I want to ask you to put on your imagination right now. I want you to kind of listen to what I'm going to say, and I want you to imagine how you would react, okay? You can close your eyes or you can watch me. I'm not going to do anything behind your back while you close your eyes, but you can listen to me as I tell this little story and see how you would react, okay? You go to a friend's house and he's got this brand new hoverboard. It's the coolest thing you've ever seen. And you go up there and you ask him if you can try it. And he sits there and looks you in the eye and says, listen, my mom and dad said that I cannot allow anybody to really try it because they don't want anybody to get hurt. So no, you can't try it. So you guys go into a room and you're playing games. Maybe you're playing some video games or a board game, and things kind of cool down with that game, and you go out and your friend goes into the refrigerator and says, I'm going to get you a soda and a snack, and you're standing there and you look around and there's the hoverboard. You got to do the hoverboard, man. It's the coolest. You've never really ridden one. You want to try it so bad. So you sit there and you go look around. Nobody's watching, right? So you get on the hoverboard and it takes you a little bit, but finally you start to get going and you're a little unstable and you're cooking down the driveway, and all of a sudden you fall off the board. The board flies up into the air somehow and comes crashing down. And guess what? The hoverboard breaks. And you're sitting there and you go, man, my friend is gonna be furious. He's gonna be so mad at me. He comes out, he sees the hoverboard, and he's a little upset. You know, he's hurt that you did this. He's mad because you wrote it and broke it. But he runs up to you, and instead of punching you or hitting you or pushing you or yelling at you, he throws out his arms and he grabs you and hugs you and says, dude, you're forgiven. How would you feel in that moment? That would be like taking all the weight and stress and worry that you had that your friend was going to do all these nasty, gnarly things to you, right? And instead, he hugs you. Well, we've been talking about Jacob, right? Jacob took something from Esau. He took the blessing, he took the birthright, kind of by doing it by sneaky means, right? He takes it by tricking. He doesn't really trick Esau into the birthright because Esau's starving, and he just kind of goes, okay, I'll manipulate the situation, kind of like manipulating the situation when your friend's getting you a drink and you jump on the hoverboard. He manipulates the situation by giving a bowl of stew to a starving Esau, right? So he takes the birthright. Give me your birthright, man. So Esau, I'm starving. I'll give you anything for this. So he gives the birthright. The blessing, on the other hand, Jacob is super, super sneaky and kind of crafty about this. He dresses and gets to smell like Esau, and he tricks Isaac, and he takes away the blessing from Esau. And this makes Esau really mad, even to the point he says he's going to kill Jacob. Now, when you broke the hoverboard, what was your first thought? I gotta run. I gotta get out of here, right? Jacob's first thought, and he did it, he runs. Time goes by, and Jacob has built his land. He's got a bunch of people. He's got a bunch of servants. He's got all this stuff. And then he's sitting there and somebody comes up and goes, hey, Jacob, guess what? Just saw Esau and his army right over there. Jacob had to be kind of like we would if we broke somebody else's hoverboard without asking to use it. Jacob is freaking out a little bit, right? About now, you would think, right? So Jacob grabs a messenger and he sends the messenger to Esau. I think Jacob does this because it's kind of a way to see where Esau is, right? So Jacob sends a messenger. If the messenger comes back, maybe Esau's not so mad at me anymore. If the messenger doesn't come back, well, Esau probably killed him, and it's not good news for me. I'm probably going to have to get out of here. So the messenger goes, and to Jacob's relief, the messenger comes back until the messenger tells Jacob, Esau's going to come here and visit you. And he's going to bring 400 of his men. Now remember the blessing that Esau got. We talked about he was going to become a basic warrior. And he was going to travel around from tribe to tribe to tribe, and they were going to battle. So Esau's men are tough. And Esau's bringing 400 of them to Jacob. Now my messenger came back comes to, again, complete panic, I imagine, for Jacob. Jacob then decides, well, let's see if I can figure out a way to make things good. Jacob sends the messenger back with like a ton of animals just to give to Esau and his people. Just like sheep and goats and cows and horses and donkeys and all these things he gives out to Esau. But Jacob also does this because he's afraid that Esau is still coming to kill him. And Esau is on, he just is maybe really mad still. So Jacob sits there and goes, I tell you what we should do. We should divide our people in half. We'll have half of us stay here when Esau comes, and the other half will stand over there. And if Esau and his men attack this group needs to run and get out, get away. So the time comes, and Esau comes over the hill, and all his men are coming, and Jacob, is got to be shaking in his boots, right? He's got to be scared. And listen, Esau comes walking straight directly to Jacob. And I can't imagine how it would have looked. Esau is this big, brawny, hunting warrior dude. And he comes walking up to Jacob and he throws out a big mighty left hand. And then he throws up a big mighty right hand. And then he goes like this to reach for Jacob. And he just grabs around him and he hugs him. And Jacob, I can imagine when he was first grabbed was like, ah! And then it was like, oh, just relief. The relief of knowing that Esau had forgiven Jacob for what he had done. As bad as it was for Esau, he forgave Jacob. I love that God, as he wrote the Bible and lived out the plan for our salvation, threw in one of the greatest things that make us feel so good. And there are so many stories in the Bible that talk about the magic of a hug. When we can forgive somebody with a hug, to show them that not only they are forgiven, but they are loved, man, that's got to make you feel good. Jacob, even though he didn't get the blessing through what we would say good ways, he became a good man of God. He followed God. After all this bad stuff he did, showing that not only did Esau forgive what Jacob had done, so did God. And he used Jacob in many, many very cool ways. Actually changing his name to Israel at one point. So guys, our verses coming up next. I hope you're memorizing these verses. We'll have a new one next week, and we will talk to you again later. Hey, Do a sneak attack on your mom or dad or a friend of yours. Give them a hug. Tell them you appreciate them and you love them. Bye. Let us do good to everyone and especially to those who are of the household of faith. Galatians 6:10.